News at 11 begins now.
Breaking news at this hour, one person was killed after colliding with an old military vehicle on Highway 2 this evening. Traffic was backed up for several hours, although lanes in both directions are back open now. It happened just east of Fairchild Air Force Base on the westbound lanes. We're told the driver of the smaller vehicle pulled out in front of the military truck, and that truck simply wasn't able to stop in time. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm Whitney Ward. Mark and Regina are off tonight. In continuing a look at that breaking news, police also told us even though that truck looks like it may have come from the nearby Fairchild Air Force Base, it was a privately owned truck driven by a private citizen. Investigators tell us that driver, though, is expected to be okay. And again, traffic in that area in Airway Heights is moving in both directions tonight. In other breaking news now, Spokane's former regional health officer, Dr. Bob Lutz, has a new job. He is the newest member of the state COVID response team. The Washington Department of Health says he accepted an offer to work for them earlier this week. In a statement tonight, a department spokeswoman told KREM Dr. Lutz's experience as a local health officer and his clinical expertise will bring great value to our state's response efforts. 11 more Grant County residents have died from COVID-19 today. 10 are connected to long-term care facility outbreaks that were first reported on November 30th. All of those new deaths did come in people who had underlying health conditions. We are also learning tonight that nearly 50 COVID cases are now tied to that large super spreader wedding that was held in Ritzville last month. There have also been 11 confirmed cases in 2 additional counties in the state, also from that same event.
The reality of it is, as far as cleanliness goes, you have 70, 80 inmates trying to use one toilet if the toilet's working.
Well, you just heard an inmate at Airway Heights Correction Center describing the conditions inside the prison as coronavirus cases continue to surge there. And one thing to note, that prisoner that we heard from is one of hundreds who have now recently tested positive for the virus. Now, as of tonight, 43 more inmates have tested positive at Airway Heights Correction Center. Since November 30th, 775 have tested positive. Right now, 22 inmates are being cared for in what is called the regional healthcare facility there at the prison. The maximum facility or the maximum capacity there is 30 inmates. There are also other jail outbreaks across the state. Coyote Ridge in Connell has 388 cases total, as well as 2 deaths. The Spokane County Jail has reported at least 1 case, plus 3 staffers have also tested positive. And Geiger Community Corrections Center, also in Airway Heights, now has at least 84 cases, along with 8 staff who have tested positive. And as the jails continue to scramble to get a hold on these rising cases, local activists are now speaking out against prison conditions. KREM 2's Brandon Jones has more on that tonight.
The health and safety of inmates is a serious concern as COVID continues to spread throughout the region. Today, I spoke with a local activist who talked with me about these conditions and what it is that inmates may be experiencing.
Maybe we need to reach out to somebody because obviously our people inside don't have the same liberty that we do out here.
Jermaine Williams has dedicated his life to advocating for social justice and equal rights.
A lot of the people inside of prisons and jails, they're perceived with a negative connotation. So what do you think it is that needs to be done to let people know about the conditions that they're going through?
His brother lives inside of the Airway Heights Correction Center. He's been tested for COVID, but is unaware of the results. Jermaine has kept in touch with him through emails about his experience.
He said, so I don't know what their plan is going forward. I have to do what I have to do in order to survive this outbreak.
All of the inmates are currently isolated. As more cases rise in the facility, they're stuck in their rooms. It's not only the center in Airway Heights dealing with outbreaks. Other facilities in Spokane County are trying to figure out how to get a grip on COVID spread themselves. Spokane County Detention Services will hold a press conference on Friday to discuss their plans of limiting COVID in their systems. As of today, 85 positive cases exist between Geiger Corrections and the Spokane County Jail. 8 employees have also tested positive for the virus. Joining officials from Detention Services will be the Spokane Regional Health District.
All of the things that an individual would normally be able to do as far as having healthy outlets have now been taken away.
People like Jermaine tell me that now more than ever is the time to speak up about conditions inside a prison. He's afraid that if people don't use their voice, then COVID will continue to spread among inmates. From Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
And tonight, the data does not include positive cases from that Airway Heights Corrections Center. Spokane health officials say those positive cases, though, will start to be included in the total counts here over the next few days. We are also told they expect to see increased positive cases with increased testing right now, especially with the new Chaz testing site at the Spokane Arena. Investigators are linking increased cases to in-home gatherings from over the Thanksgiving holiday. So let's take a look at the latest numbers. Spokane Regional Health is reporting 213 new COVID cases, as well as 2 new deaths in the last 24 hours, bringing the total number of deaths in the county to 297. 132 people are in the hospital tonight. We do want to get to weather next because that is another big story. A winter weather advisory is in place. It starts at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we want to turn to Thomas Patrick now to get a breakdown of what this means, starting at that hour, which we know is when the snow is expected to start falling, right?
Yeah, the National Weather Service has the timing pegged pretty accurately, and it's going to align with the time frame of the advisory as it most often should. Winter weather advisory kicks in at 6 a.m. tomorrow because that's about the time frame when that snow is going to start, give or take maybe an hour or so. You see basically all of eastern Washington and parts of North Idaho, including Coeur d'Alene, down on the Palouse, including Moscow, all under that advisory. It's not going to be the most amount of snow, maybe just 1 or 2 inches, but as it hits during the Friday morning commute hours, that is going to create some slippery road conditions, particularly between Ritzville through Spokane on I-90 and even down 195 down to the Palouse. So expect a slower commute for tomorrow morning because of that snow that will be falling. But for tonight, there is some very dense fog down on the Palouse. There is a dense fog advisory until 5 a.m. So basically before the snow starts falling. Here's a live look at Highway 195 in Colfax. And hopefully you'll believe me when I say that this actually looks better than it did 30 minutes ago, but still incredibly low visibility. In fact, the Pullman Moscow Airport reporting 0 visibility as of this hour. So that's the foggy conditions for tonight. We're getting a batch of snow for tomorrow morning and then even more snow to come heading into next week as we are moving into a very snowy weather pattern for mid-December.
Not too bad, especially as we get closer to Christmas. Thomas, thank you. Still ahead tonight, no 2020 Apple Cup. Well, the game was already postponed. Now, chances of that big in-state rivalry being rescheduled just keep going down. We'll have the latest on that. Plus, the new information on Washington's vaccine distribution plan.